Hello. Oh my gosh. I bet you never thought you would see me again. You were like, Jed went off into the wilderness. She's never coming back. And here I am in the flesh. So, hi, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to my channel. This is my official channel. This is my only channel. Let's set that straight. This is the only place that is run by me. So, if you see videos of me elsewhere, don't be fooled. This is the place to be. This is the place to subscribe. So much to talk to you about today. Oh my gosh. First of all, hello. I've missed you. Have you missed me? The answer is yes. The only right answer is yes. Any other answer, you have to be asked to leave. That's not nice. Here I am already starting with the New York attitude. Anyway, I am in a different place. I'm in a different state. Everything is different. The first thing that I'm going to do with y'all is I'm going to explain what happened to me. Where did I go? It's been, oh my gosh, has it been almost 2 years? I've done a lot. So I'm going to explain what happened. I'm going to explain what this channel is going to be, what the show is going to be. And we're, of course, going to do a little bit of show. So what happened to me first, and then reaction content. I brought some videos in of the ladies. You know I'm going to respond to those. So we're going to get back into the swing of things. But first, where did I go? What did I do? And why did it take me so long to get back here? Okay. So last you saw me, let's talk about the elephant in the room first, okay? Last you saw me, I was on a different channel. And I was in a different state. I was in Florida. And I think the last time I spoke to you, forget social media because I've been popping on, if you've been following me on Instagram, that's a whole different world. The last time you saw me on YouTube in particular, I think I put a video up saying that I had found mold, right? Remember that? I had found mold in Florida. I was in a rental at the time and I was going back to New York because I wasn't feeling well. It had really jacked my body up and I was going back to New York. I was going to do some holistic detox. That's exactly what happened. Now, let me explain to you what happened in the rental. This was not mold. People were like, why couldn't you just fix it? First of all, it wasn't my house, right? This was not mold sitting in a bathroom. This was a full-on flood that came from the roof in a rainstorm, went through the top floor, through the ceiling, and was flooding the closet downstairs. So I, knowing what I know of mold and having lived through a mold exposure in the past, knew that it was all through the walls. I mean, the remediation would have been completely insane. And it wasn't my house, right? So I was like, I'm not going to stay. Where am I going to go? All of that stuff. So I headed back to New York and I did my little holistic detox. It actually wasn't that bad once I was out of the mold. And this was the second time I had found mold in Florida. It's rampant in Florida because it's so wet everywhere. Once I got back to New York, I started to think about a lot of things. And the truth of the matter was the business partnership I was in last just wasn't the right fit, right? No drama, no nonsense. It just wasn't the right fit, right? Let me also just say I chose to leave that. I was not fired. I was not told to leave. I was not told, don't say this, shut up. It was nothing like that. It was my decision. I decided, okay, it's time to go. This isn't the right fit. No disrespect, no hard feelings, no ill will, just wasn't the right fit. It happens, right? It happens. And I made that decision. Once I left Florida, it just all became really clear to me. And Florida really wasn't the right fit. That part of Florida, honestly, I love the Panhandle, but the part of Florida I was in kind of felt like a giant parking lot. There wasn't a lot of nature other than the beach. It was just too much EMF, too many people, and all the stuff I was talking to you about that I really cared about wasn't there. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going back there. I'm going to do something different. And we were in New York, and in the interim, I had to figure out where we were going to go because we didn't live in New York anymore. I was actually staying with my parents in the midst of all this. My dad broke his hip. My mom broke her. It was a crazy time. I was micromanaging a lot of family stuff. And my husband always wanted to go to Montana. So we decided, I said, babe, let's just go. And we bought an eco home in Montana. So cool. Literally a non-toxic, low tox, I should say, home where So whoever built the home, like, really thought about, no one had lived in it before, but really thought about, like, the finishes. Everything was, like, low tox and, it was made for, heightened indoor air quality, all these things that matter to me. And I was like, let's do it. And we bought it and we went to Bozeman, Montana, and it was gorgeous. I mean, Bozeman, Montana looks like a postcard. It's mountains, it's tons of sunshine. I like gained so much sunshine going there. It was gorgeous. We did like all of the winter sports. We did all of the like tubing, and we actually didn't ski that year because, long story, but we wound up doing all this outdoor stuff. It was so beautiful. The air was so clean. I used to just be like, oh, having lived in New York for so long, I was like, what have I been doing? I've been oxygen deprived for so long, even though we were at altitude. And we even like set up the show. We had a full studio set up. My team, I wound up hiring a team, the team I'm working with now, who are awesome. We set up the studio. We actually taped a few of them. And all of a sudden, I started to feel really weird. This is the best. I was spinning. I was getting really dizzy. And I was like, what is going on? This can't still be mold. Like, what is happening to me? It was the craziest thing. I was like it felt like I was like this, like a bobblehead all the time. And I was like, I couldn't drive. I got spooked out. And I went to, a chiropractor. I went to an osteopath, and I was like, okay, maybe it's something with the altitude, because we were at 5,000 feet. I'd never lived at 5,000 feet. I was like, maybe it's something with the altitude. And I tried to figure it out, from a naturopathic perspective. You all know I don't trust traditional medicine and all that. You know how I feel about that. We'll get to that. And I got so freaked out that my nervous system, which we're also going to talk about because that's really what makes people sick, that I've learned through this process, my nervous system got so dysregulated and I started to get nervous. I was like, what is going on? What is happening to me? And I went and got a scan. The scan came back normal. And I was like, it can't be, because I was still having all these symptoms, still going crazy. I was like, I need to figure this out. And I had a traditional medicine doctor in my ear like this the whole time. And my nervous system was so dysregulated from just, I guess it had been a lot. It had been a change of environment, family stuff I had dealt with, moving again, not realizing all the commotion of that experience. And the traditional medicine doctor was, you need to go to New York. You need to do this. You need to do that. I went to New York. I saw my holistic doctor. Hi, Dr. Schultz. And he said, you're fine. This is a nervous system problem. And I didn't believe it. In fact, I was talking to a nervous system coach who we're going to have on this show because she's amazing and really saved my sanity and taught me so much. She was like, this is your nervous system. Something's going on. I was like, what? I went for another scan, MRI, and they call me and they say, oh my gosh, we think we see something. I think your carotid artery is torn. No joke. And they scare the life out of me, so much so I was shaking. I was like, what could have happened? I'm like, oh my God, I went to the chiropractor once, but they didn't even crack my neck. Freaked out. And they talk me into, now, I'm somebody who knows the stuff, right? I know the system is broken. I know they don't know what they're doing. I know they have no concept of root cause. But my nervous system had taken over, and I was so nervous. I'm thinking of my child and all this stuff that I go and I get a CTA actually. Luckily, it was a low radiation one because I went into a new machine. Whatever. I come out and they're like, oh, never mind. You're fine. And that was my moment of wow, what just happened to me? I almost got sucked into the system. Even being someone who knew what I knew, I almost got sucked into the testing and thinking that they had some idea, right, of what was going on. They have no knowledge. In fact, I went for a few. At that point, I was like, oh, let me see what the experience of someone who doesn't know, who doesn't have these naturopaths and hasn't had, I had this former Lyme disease experience that taught me so much. And I would go into these offices and they'd be like, I don't know. No one would ask me what I was eating. No one would ask me, was I under any stress? All of the questions that you need to be asking weren't asked. Anyway, it was a huge learning experience. Huge learning experience for me. When I finally figured out what was wrong, this is back, we go back to New York. We're doing all this in New York. Do you know what it was? and this is very helpful for, I was so cold in Montana. Montana is gorgeous, but it is freaking cold, dude. It was like -20. At one point, we were throwing water up in the air and it was just vanishing. I was so cold in Montana that I had developed a pattern of going like this. You know, when you're cold and you do this, the whole thing was fascia, muscles, fascia, tissue that had tightened and had created vertigo. I found that out through a thermography, which is no radiation, all that. She was like, it's your fascia. I was like, amazing discovery, amazing lessons, amazing that I almost got sucked in to the system. Even I was there. I get it now. And I have learned so much. Anyway, at that point, I look at my husband and he looks at me and he says, I don't think Montana's going to be for you. So we still have our house in Montana. And we said to each other, there's a place we've always wanted to go. And that was Texas. Always talking about freedom, always talking about land. You might remember that when I was on the other channel, I was talking about, oh man, I want some land. I want some. Texas was always top of mind. And my husband had gone to college in Houston. We didn't want to go to Houston, but we decided we're going to Texas. That's where we are right now. So this show is coming out of Texas. And it's gorgeous. We're building a house. I'm actually in a rental now. Funny story. I think there is mold in the bathroom. It's not a big project, though. It's a simple remediation. I'm going to talk to you about that, too, because I learned so much. Man, a lot of people trying to scam you with the mold. Scam and alarm and wreck your nervous system with that stuff, too. Anyway, we're building a home. We are building a clean, green home. That makes two. And we still have our Montana house. I don't know what I'm going to do there, but I just know I can't be like this. It's so funny now when I'm in the cold. People who know me are like, oh, Jed, you're doing it. You're doing it. I don't know, man. So the other thing was, why did it take so long? I took a break. And you know what was really funny? I was covering the manosphere, or whatever you want to call it. I was covering this dating and all of these like guys that are always like, women, you know, you've lost your way. Like raising children is so important. They were all like, Jed, when are you getting back to work? When are you come back? And I know you love me, but I know it's also because nobody says the truth like I do. I just don't give a you know what, you know, I just say it. And I was watching these videos. I saw a video the other day, man. There was a woman, I don't even know her name. She was talking about the manosphere. I think Rolo retweeted it or something. And she was just lecturing like, all of these people are just, I really know. I get that they're well-intentioned. It was such a lecture from a podium. And I'm like, this is why people listen to me, because I don't do that shit. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm back. And I took a break. I took a real break. I had to figure out where we were going to live. I didn't want to make another move that felt silly. I wanted to really think about it. I spent a ton of time with my son, my parents. I needed to get some of their, you know what, together. And it just takes time. And I got a ton of sunshine and I perfected my knowledge of health. And I learned so much, man. I found Joe Dispenza. We're going to talk about that, see if we can get him on. That's going to be a tricky get. He's super famous, but I think we can do it. And that's what happened. That is the full, whole truth of what happened and why it took so long. And some of it was just me saying, I need a little more time. Like, I want to make sure building a house is locked. I will tell you, a locked. I forgot that I don't have a clock in here, so I'm going to have to do that. But I want to know what time it is and how long I'm talking. But regardless, I'm here. I am back. I feel really good about what's coming your way. And you may be wondering what this show is going to be. So let me just tell you, what it's going to be is a mix of reaction content. A lot of it's going to be dating, relationships, marriage, you know, men, women, that whole thing. Some of it's going to be health because RFK's in now. And ooh, shit's gone wild, right? It's gone wild. Everyone's crazed. Everyone's crazed. I love it. Love that he's in, by the way. Big fan. So we'll do some health stuff, but we're also going to have guests. I'm not going to have guests just to have them. I'm going to have guests that I think are really, really important. Really, really important. And one of them is going to be the woman who, in the midst of my nervous system crazy, saved my sanity. I have a little cold, too. You believe that? Maybe it's COVID. Run and hide. Whatever. Okay. And the reaction content's going to be stuff that you know and love. So new team, Ben's behind this is all remote, by the way. I am sitting in an extra bedroom in my rental, which is what I love and I always wanted to do. So amazing that we made it happen. Ben's behind the camera, working stuff. I will reference him at times. And when he gets brave, if and when that happens, he may even choose to speak, which will be very interesting. Maybe he'll just say, Jed, shut up. The show is over. And that's good enough for me. Maybe he'll say something else. The team is amazing and I'm really excited. I also just want to say thank you because you guys kept following and you guys kept writing and you guys were really patient with me and really patient with all of the changes. And I know I said in Montana, I'm coming back. And then it was like, ooh, but I was like, they'll get it. They'll understand. So what I want to do for you now that we did, where'd you go, Jed? I want to just do some housekeeping. First of all, if you have any questions before we do the clips, they be a coming. If you have any questions you have a website now, jedediahbila.com, you can go to, and it's great. You can contact me there if you have questions. I will be doing some Q&A shows, and that's where you'll probably submit the Q&As. I still have my Instagram. I still have my Facebook. I still have my Twitter. I also have, one thing I want to alert you to is a shop page on my website. And it has products and services. I have partnered with, I'm really into the biohacking. I want you guys to be the healthiest you can be. I did a ton of research. I spent a ton of time behind the scenes while I wasn't on camera building these relationships because I wanted to get discounts for people of stuff that I use. There's nothing on there that I don't use and love. So check it out. There might be some stuff that you might be looking for a tallow bomb and be like, I want to use tallow. Oh, I want 10% off, or a sauna, or a red light machine, or a mold testing kit that you can use in the comfort of your own home and save you $1,000 from what it would cost you if you brought somebody in. And the kit was built by a building inspector. So all really cool stuff. So check that out. All right. Who wants a taste? I love how I talk like somebody's going to answer me. Don't you love when I do that? I'm like waiting. You know how in like you watch like Friends or something and you hear the applause and the laughter? I need that. When I make a joke, I think maybe we'll have Ben in the background just go, oh, I'll feel really talented and funny. And as a result, we'll be a better host. Who wants a taste of what the show is going to be? I know you do. All right. So we have some clips today. I picked 4 for the first show, and we're going to go through them. You're going to see them. We're going to play them. These are coming from TikTok. And then I'm going to tell you what I think. So we can roll in the ladies one by one, and I'll let you know. All right, let's start. Let's do some clips, Ben. If you're ready, let's throw in red flag.
Okay, I'm about to go on a first date and I need you to tell me if this is a red flag. I feel like it is. It's like one of my least favorite things ever. I'm letting it go for now because I'm not going to cancel on him an hour before the date. But it's not looking good, girls. So my first concern, this is not the red flag, is that he did not confirm the date. So he made a reservation on Monday. Then I had to text him 2 hours before the date to confirm today. But that's not the end of the world. That's actually not the red flag. The red flag is this. He responded when I said, hey, are we still on for tonight? And said, of course, babe. See you soon. Babe, I don't know you, king, buddy. And it just, when guys use pet names before you know them, I'm like, either you can't remember my name, which is concerning, or you're creating a false sense of familiarity, also concerning. But I'm letting it go. But we're going to see if my theory is correct, which is that guys who use pet names before the first date, on the first date, in the first 2 or 3 dates are weird. But maybe not. I'm willing to be wrong, but I don't think I am. But I'm willing to be wrong.
She's not willing to be wrong. We all know that, right? She's going to be like, I was right no matter what. Okay, first off, can we address why do people do this on TikTok? Why does she feel why do people feel so self-important? This is a tiny little moment in her life, right? She's going on a date. Someone called her bait. The tiniest of things have to be broadcast to the world. Do you remember a time, and some of you are old like me, I think, and you will remember a time where you would just have this conversation with a friend. You would call your best friend and you'd be like, oh my God, this guy, somebody called me babe. What do you think about it? You would have that conversation then, right? Just like that. And by the way, if you notice my Italian accent getting very strong, Somehow I moved to Texas and became a mob wife. I don't know why I sound like this. Maybe I miss New York in some capacity and it's just coming out. Maybe it's a detox of the New York City. I don't know what, but I do sound a bit like a soprano. I can't do anything about it. So regardless, this girl, back to her. Why does she feel the need to have this conversation with TikTok? It's like everything is about showiness now, right? She couldn't just call her friend and say that. No. So that right off the bat is like, why do we live in this world and how do we go? I don't know. Is there like an outer space I can go to where this doesn't happen? Secondly, very picky right off that. First of all, can we just establish she doesn't like him? She doesn't like him, right? She doesn't like him because if she did like him and he was going, babe, she'd be like, she already does. She should just not go. She already doesn't like him. Okay. And she's already analyzing. When women are analyzing, when women can sit back and say, oh, I don't know. He used that word. He's really creating a false sense of intimacy. She doesn't like you. Because when she's when I say she doesn't like you, I mean, she's not physically attracted to you. If she's physically attracted to you, that babe would have hit home. Honey would have hit home. Wink emoji would have hit home. It all hits home. And when she's not attracted to you, none of it hits home. So she's going into that date with a critical eye, right? You think she's going to have fun on that date? No. She's not. And she knows she's not going to have fun on that date because she's already decided that guy's done everything wrong before she showed up. But she's going to go on his dime, right? She's going to go on his dime, sit there, and then she's going to make another video, come back and tell you, I was right. Oh, my God. So here's your red flag number 2 with some nonsense that occurred on the date. Get 3 more videos out of it and be done. Right? Am I right or am I right? So guys, listen. If you're wondering, like, what do I do? Because guys are really confused. We're going to get to that in a second. But what do I do? Did I make a mistake? It doesn't matter. The key is whether she's physically attracted to you. Because if she is, you could make mistakes from here till next year and it won't matter. And if she's not attracted, like that's just how it works. If she's not attracted to you, it's done. If she's attracted to you, mistake. That's just how it goes. Okay. All right. So that is a check, reality check again. And I see it. Guys sometimes will write me and be like, I don't know. She seemed interested at first, but now, no. You will know if she likes you. Just look. That's it. That's the sign. Okay. Let's go to number 2. Should I post him? Oh, this girl. She's mad.
I need y'all's advice. I just came across the guy I've been dating on Are We Dating the Same Guy? And apparently he's had 2 other girlfriends the entire time we've been dating. And I'm just curious if you guys think I should share his picture here and ruin his life, because I definitely feel like I have the ability to do so given my following. And I know he's shaking in his boots because he texted me the other day asking if I've ever posted him on social media. And I am very tempted to ruin his life because it would not be hard. I know I could go viral because y'all would share and like and follow as long as we have this app. And, I'm just feeling extremely jaded and really pissed off because he concocted this whole story about being in Italy. And apparently he's told these girls all different things. And what men are so stupid about, women talk, women find shit out, and women will always come together before we let you get away with anything. Talk about a sociopath. Oh, he doesn't even know. Watch me ruin his life. Should I do it?
I really listen, we're going to have a barf bucket in here again, because I was just like, meh. I mean, is that even, I can't. Is this the dating pool? I mean, come on. Okay, first of all, imagine the sense of self-importance. I don't know how many people she has, on her TikTok. I don't really care. Imagine thinking, I have a following and I can ruin his life. Look at my follow. I mean, you're just not that important, honey. Like, you're not. I'm not. No one person is that important. You're just not that important. And feeling that you're that important and conveying it is very unattractive. Let me just say, very unattractive. Can I say something else? She loves him. She loves him so deeply and so intensely. or she wouldn't be talking about this. You think if she didn't like him, you know what she would have done? Or if she really was in a position, if she was the one holding power in this position, you know what she would have done? She would have dumped him. She just would have been like, I'm done. She would have never talked about him again. She would have been on to somebody else, and she would be living life. Living life. We wouldn't have a video where she's like, we wouldn't, because she wouldn't be giving any of her energy to that man. She's only giving energy to that man because she loves him. And you know what she really wants? She wants that guy to come back on his hands and knees, apologize. So sorry. You're really the one. You marry me. You're it. I made a mistake. She's looking for that. Now, she may or may not take him back, but she's looking for that, and she's still into him. I think she probably would take him back. She's so obsessed with him that she's trying to figure out how to make him pay. Again, guys, if she doesn't like you, she's not doing this. She's done. She's moved on. She's next. She's not talking about you. She's not writing you. She's not thinking about how to ruin your life. She's not thinking about revenge. She only does that if she really likes you. So you'll know you have a second chance, even if you do something bad, which you shouldn't do. But you'll know you have a second chance if she's spending any time on you. This guy has a second chance. Also, she says, by the way, women come together. Honey, no, they don't. No, they don't. That does not. Yes, in the moment, will women be like, was he sleeping with you? Oh my God, he was sleeping with me. Did he say, I love you? They'll have the gossipy moment. But any one of them, more often than not, will throw every other one of them under the bus if that guy comes back for them. So if that guy comes back and says, I really want you, you're the one. You see how fast she's not talking to those girls anymore. She's not bonded with them. I'm telling you. I'm just telling you straight. I'm not saying all women, right? Saying more often than not, what this girl's saying is just not true. It's just not true. She should really figure out if she really likes him. She loves him. Okay. Let's talk about first dates. First dates can be a nightmare. Not going to lie. Or they can be amazing. But when you go into the first date, shouldn't you be optimistic? I'm just saying, if you go in cranky, let's watch. Okay, number 3, first dates. Let's pull that one up.
My hottest take of all time is that you should never go to a second location with a man on a first date. I know what's going to happen. Someone's going to comment and they're going to say, I have a boyfriend and we had a 15-hour first date and we fell in love. You are the exception, not the rule. For the most part, your first date should be like an hour 20, hour 30 tops. There's just no reason for you to give a stranger more than an hour and a half of your night. More importantly, men are lonely. I don't know if you guys have seen that there's a loneliness epidemic with men. So a lot of times they're just looking for someone to talk to, time and attention. Once the date is over, you're out of their head forever. They're not texting you for a second date, but they've gotten a 4-hour free therapy session at 3 different bars with you. So they're feeling amazing. They've not wasted your time. First dates, just a vibe to hour and a half tops, cover the basics, have some fun chats, little banter. We get out of there. Even if you guys go get dinner, hour and a half. Dinner doesn't need to be longer than that. When you go on these 3, 4, 5-hour marathon first dates, you're over-investing, it's too early, and it doesn't guarantee that they're going to text you again. All you have to say is, hey, I have an early morning tomorrow. This has been really fun. I'm looking forward to doing it again. Bye.
I can't imagine why she's single. Can you? I had to pull 2 videos from this girl because, well, Okay, so this is the dumbest advice ever. No disrespect, but this is really dumb. As someone who's been alive for a little bit longer, there's just no reason to give a stranger more than an hour and a half of your night. What an attitude to have about a date. Here is the better advice, what you should be doing. And by the way, I am someone, she's right. I'm going to tell you that the man that I'm married to now, our first date, I think, was like 12 hours. The second one was like 10 hours. And throughout my entire life, any date that was abbreviated like that on purpose was a waste of time. You can't have this attitude going into a date. What you should be doing is how about you just hang out for as long as it feels good to hang out? How about you talk, and if it doesn't feel right, you can end it. And if it feels really good, you stay, you hang out, you make that walk a little longer, you just live. This is like dating strategy for dummies that's really dumb. This is awful, awful advice. Also, like, what if you really like them? What if you really like someone? Oh, no, I have to abbreviate the date because I don't have a guaranteed return on my investment. This is not a business deal. You're getting to know someone. This is not a contract. This is just life. Talk about taking the love out of the whole experience and the fire. And man, this is what social media has done to people, women in particular. It's really terrible. Also, this thing she says about men being lonely, that's true. Like she says there's a loneliness epidemic. Yes, but I don't know, can I tell her, or do you want to tell her that no guy is feeling lonely and then going and sitting with her and turning her into a buddy and confide? Guys don't do that. He'll call his guy friend to do that. He's going on a date with you for a reason, probably because he's physically attracted to you initially. Also because he finds you interesting, cool. Okay, that's why he's there. He's not there to like have a therapy session with you, or no, he'll do that with someone else. He'll do that with like a woman he knows who happens to be lesbian. You know, that's not going anywhere. Or he'll do that with a guy friend. He's not doing that with you. He's not. He doesn't want to be your buddy. He doesn't want to be your confidant. And he's not wasting his time. So he's not doing that. Yeah, let me take this girl out. Let me take this pretty girl out. We'll just have a therapy session, a long therapy session that I pay for. I mean, no, that's not, oh God. Also, can I just say, if you do end the date the way she said and you say like, hey, I have an early morning tomorrow, blah, blah. I mean, very unattractive stuff. So if you do like him, he's not going to like you. You know, there's also this idea that women have this idea that no matter what they do, like if they're pretty, she's an attractive girl, no matter what they do, if they go in, if they strategize, if they say, oh, I'm only giving you an hour and a half of my time, even if I like you, you know, I'm going to exit and say, oh, I have an early, and you're still going to chase. You're still going to chase like, oh, I've got it in the bag no matter what. So guys, maybe don't do that. Maybe get out of that habit. And I know women get a lot more attention online and it's much easier for them to get attention. So I know the struggle of like, you know, you want it to work out. You're sitting there. She's pretty. You're feeling all the thing. You're like, yeah, I can. Don't chase women that treat you like this. Don't. Because you know what? It sends the wrong message. Someone needs to learn that if they show up for a date and they have this attitude of like, I don't need to be giving a stranger more time on day one. And, oh, I'm just going to check out an hour. They need to know that like, that's not attractive. And the way you tell them that's not attractive is you don't chase. If you chase, you're reinforcing this behavior and you're going to wind up with more women acting like this in the pool. Very strange. Imagine going to a date. The whole vibe is, how fast can I get out? Honey, stay home. Like you're not into it. You're not into it, and your mindset is going to wreck it for you and wreck it for him. So just don't do it, right? You don't have to go. Gosh. All right. Let's do the fourth. Date night. Let's see it.
I'm going on a date tonight. This is the fifth date with one of the guys I've been seeing. I think we have a really good connection. My only thing is that I don't have fanny flutters with him. And I'm a little bit worried about that. But I also think it might be because he hasn't like initiated anything. It's always been me at the end of the date being like, hopefully that's not what I look like. But yeah, he just hasn't made any of the moves in that department. And part of me is like, that's fine. He's being respectful. God forbid. But another part of me is like, I feel as though at this point in our dating timeline, I should be like, for my outfit, I'm wearing something a little bit more risque. I'm wearing a sheer top, which I think are in right now. However, sometimes I don't know if they are meant for the ladies with the big bazingas.
All right. So honestly, guys, I would sooner just go for a walk alone on the beach. This is torture. This is like a torture chamber. I feel like I'm in some type of, honestly? Okay. First of all, she's naked on the date. Let's be honest. Now, I'm not saying that I get it. I was 20 once too, and I had the short dresses, and I think I even had like a top that was sheer with like, I used to do corsets. I was into it. But mostly like at the club or like out to dinner. I don't know, dinner with the sheer, the naked. I don't know, man. Things have changed. Fifth date, she calls it the fanny flutters. What is that? Butterflies. I get it. Is that a thing? People are saying, no, I don't have the fanny flutters. Is that like something that I missed? Wow. I don't know. Regardless, if she's on the fifth date and she's not feeling that, it's done, right? Can we establish that? Women are attracted to you like this. In the first 10 seconds that they interact with you, it's decided. There's not a lot on attractiveness you're going to change after that. She's either decided she's into you, you're in the friend zone, or she's using you as someone to just give her attention, because we like attention from men. And you're just going to hang around and be like, not even really friend zone, but just kind of like a person who makes her feel good about herself all the time. It's true. I'm being honest. This happens. So fifth date and no butterflies, you don't like him. You don't like it. So really, honey, what are you doing? Are you in it for what's going on here? Somebody likes the free dinner, get dressed up, go out. What's going on? What's the game? Right? Also, fifth date and he hasn't made a move. I don't know what kind of signals you're sending. Maybe there's a chance he's being respectful, although that would be like very respectful. 5 dates with nothing, little odd. I don't know. Maybe you're strange because you're being a little weird on the video. I don't know what's going on outside the video, but I'm a little, I don't know, uncomfortable just watching. So I don't know if you're doing that on the date. But let's just say I think I can say you don't like him comfortably because you don't got the feels and it's 5 dates. And maybe he does like you a little, because why would he keep taking you out and paying for it? But he's something you're doing is confusing him, right? Something's going on here that's a little confusing. I think that this is a common theme. I think she wants attention, right? Because she's dressed for the date. I think it's bothering her that he's not giving her attention. He's not. He's showing up, but he's not giving her attention. He's not coming in for a kiss. Now, I think she really wants that kiss from him? No, I don't. Because she already told you that she doesn't have the fanny flutters. She doesn't want the kiss from him. She wants him to want her. So she feels good. She goes home. She calls her friend. Oh, yeah, he tried to kiss me. He's like so into me. He's really into me, but like, it's just not for me. But you walk away feeling like, I got all the attention. He's into me. I'm the one who's not into him. It's like an ego boost. Gives you a little pep in your step for your next date. That's what's going on. And the frustrating part of it is that even though she doesn't like him, he's not given the attention. So she's like, what is going on here? What do I need to do? Okay, I can just go naked. That'll do it. Okay, you know what? Today it's a sheer top. Tomorrow, maybe it's a swimsuit. Swimsuit at the rest. What can I do to make sure I'm wanted and that I leave and exit this experience as the one who was wanted and desired and my ego is intact? And he's just kind of like, well, he bought me like 6 dinners and spent some money and he's just not for me. No harm, no foul. And you can tell by the video, I don't know if this top is made for those of us with big, I mean, come on. Just stop. I'm exhausted. I've only done 4 clips and I'm exhausted. Are you? You're like, no, Jed, I need more. So just know this happens too, right? You go out with a woman. Sometimes they will keep going out with you guys just for, first of all, you're paying, right? Usually. So it's like, oh, it's dinner out. You get dressed up. Plus she gets to scope out the whole restaurant too. Maybe you go to a lounge and maybe she meets somebody else on the walk to the bathroom. Right? On your dime, you bought the drink, but she's on the way to the bathroom. And she's like, oh, that guy's really cute. Oh, he gave me his number. I'm not going to call him, obviously. I was just being polite. She got text him. So sometimes it's about that. And sometimes it's just like, I want to feel wanted, So just know that. Just know it could be happening to you. Okay. So that's your taste. That's your taste for today of what the show's going to look like. Part of it. There's no guest today, so obviously that's not coming into play. But I am going to do a lot of this. I'm also going to react to health content. Some people doing some I love it. Don't you love, like, I can't. People like standing in front of the mirror and they've like eaten all the organic food that day, but they've got like implants and Botox and they're like, I'm really into clean beauty. And their like whole face doesn't move. It's frozen stiff with neurotoxins. So there'll be some of that because, and listen, it's not all of these women today that I talked about in these clips. There's no hate, right? There's no hate here. I'm just trying to tell you what you're doing. Let's be honest, right? Just be honest. If you want attention from men, it is normal. It is healthy for women who are single to want attention from men. It's healthy, right? You want to feel wanted. It's cool. I was the same way, but just own it. Own it. Be honest about it. And if you don't like someone, just say, I don't like you. I'm sorry. I remember a friend of mine, to close with this, a friend of mine still laughs about this. Honest story. I went out with a guy when I think I was about 28. And I had known him for a long time. I didn't really want to go out with him, but I felt bad, is the honest truth. And he was a really nice guy. And I went out. And the next day I called him and I said, I need to talk to you. I said, I really just don't, like, I don't feel this. And she always says to me, you're brutal. You were so brutal with him. And I was like, you know what? To me, that's way less brutal than stringing him along, not being honest, ghost, dating another. I just be honest. And yeah, it might suck in that moment, but you will be remembered as someone who's honest. If you're not into it, just say it. Don't string them along. Don't go on dates and spend guys' money if you don't want to be there. That's just shitty, right? It's just bad behavior. Don't do it. Okay. So that is your taste of the show. I am so glad that we are back in action. I am so glad that you're here. And stay tuned. More is coming. What I want you to do is I want you to find me on Instagram. I want you to find me on my website. And I want you to tell me two things. First of all, who do you want to see as guests? I'll consider it. They're not going to be a lot of guests. It has to be someone that's like that I really want to talk to. But I do want to hear who do you want to hear from as guests? And what kind of content do you want to hear? Do you want to hear reaction to dating? Do you want to hear reaction to health? What do you want to hear? And is there any content that I'm not covering that you want covered? And if you have any questions for me, make sure you indicate like for the Q&A that you have a question. And I'm going to do a full Q&A show with like 20 questions and I answer them all. So thank you for coming. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for coming back. This is going to be the best ever. Finally, a channel that is mine. That is mine. And one more thing that I wanted to say to you is when I had that realization, I came from TV and I made the transition to podcasting. But what I really learned through this process is that you cannot be 100% free unless you own your content and it's run by you. You can't, because even when you have a business partner, you're answering to someone. You cannot own what your editing looks like, how you're captioned. If somebody works for me and they're doing a really bad job, I can fire them. So take that lesson too, because there's a lot of people wanting to do content and everyone's like, oh yeah, I'll give you a great deal, but I own all the content. Now, see you later. You're better off to do your thing. So it's you. It is 100% you. And that's what I learned. I had transitioned from TV into podcasting, but I wasn't quite where I needed to be. Now, my friends, now we are right where we need to be. I'll see you soon. Love you.